After the craziness of the blood moon last year,
Remember how crazy things got last year? You tied me up and left me for dead.
the Greens are due for a normal Halloween, huh? This episode is also the first episode of Season 3, which is a detail I really hope to pay off in 2 months. So it's another beautiful day at the Green homestead, and the Greens and Gloria, who now live in their basement, it's a whole thing involving Cricket's mortal nemesis, we don't have time for it right now, are all getting ready for Halloween. I should also be clear that Nancy is also here, she's just not in the garage at this particular moment. In fact, they're actually hosting a Halloween party at their place this year. Cricket is also gearing up to go full Halloween gremlin. While they're getting this stuff out, Gloria brings up last year and Bill assures her that it's going to be a simple Halloween this year. Recurring semi-antagonist Gwendolyn Zapp, head of Big Tech, is on the company Mars base, actively fleeing from what appears to be possibly some kind of Resident Evil-esque plant monster. And just to make sure that you understand that you shouldn't like her, Zapp flees back to Earth in a rocket with a jar of dark purple liquid, which is to say that she's leaving her employees to be turned into compost. And you can probably guess by now that normal Halloween will not be happening. One Halloween-themed intro later, the Greens have finished setting up the house, and Cricket is unveiling his Trick-Ar costume, which is to say he's going all in on tricks this year. Tilly follows, revealing that she's going as Bill.
Aw, are you me for Halloween?
Moving right along, the only thing left to take care of is setting up the jack-o'-lantern station, which Bill will do after he finishes up a pumpkin delivery. Here's the problem. These are the pumpkins. To try and lift his spirits, Tilly is attempting to do what Bill usually does for her, asking to come along to try and cheer him up.
And as Bill, I'll drive.
No.
As it turns out, the delivery is for Gwendolyn, who's overjoyed Bill brought her such crummy gourds, revealing that her latest innovation is a way to grow bigger vegetables. Which is of course all thanks to her newest concoction, that dark purple liquid from earlier, designated as Compound 41-5C. Ms. Zapp also taking the opportunity to ask the Greens if they would like some.
You'd be part of an exciting test group to see if this stuff is safe to use on crops, while we do nothing and collect all your data. It's a win-win!
Bill, being a traditionalist, says no and leaves, but I think you can already guess what Tilly's gonna do here. Back at the house, Remy and Vasquez have come by already dressed for Halloween. This time, they have decided to match on purpose.
They only had one size.
As it turns out, Halloween tends to make Vasquez's bodyguard instincts go into overdrive, having difficulty discerning what is and isn't a threat. It didn't come up last year because they were actually in danger that time. A short while later, the party has now started and Bill and Tilly are back at the house. And as you no doubt guessed, Tilly took Compound 415C with her, glopping onto the pumpkins, which grow much larger almost instantly. Whilst Cricket unsuccessfully pranks and Bill attempts to carve a tiny pumpkin, Tilly brings him out to show off the pumpkins, spinning the story that they must have experienced some kind of a last-minute growth spurt.
That's odd. I was sure that pumpkin-shaped divot in the ground used to contain a pumpkin.
Now that they're all in the house, the carving can begin. Trouble is, no matter how much he tries to ignore it, Tilly can't shake the feeling that something is off about these pumpkins. During which, Cricket starts yelling about being attacked by a pumpkin, only for it to be revealed that it's just another of his stupid pranks. Until it isn't. After a rubber mallet proves ineffective, Tilly breaks out a Walking Dead classic. Following that, Tilly has to admit that she stole a mutagenic chemical from space, and she's also about 300% positive that they need to covertly deal with all the others before they hurt anybody, or even worse, ruin Bill's good mood. So, an attempt is made to try and get everybody to evacuate by claiming the party is over. And then the pumpkins start assimilating people. Revealing that the pumpkins don't so much want to eat people as use them as puppets. Also, Gloria managed to get off work early.
It's just like last year!
You know, Gloria is often characterized as anxious, but with all the weird stuff that's always happening to her, I'm trying to think she just might have good instincts. Fleeing in mortal terror into the kitchen to find that Bill missed this entire thing going down because he was in the basement, he ends up getting man-napped. After Vasquez gets a machete, the kids identify that Bill appears to have been taken to the garage. So while Tilly saves Bill, Vasquez and the boys will handle everybody else.
Pew pew!
Entering, Tilly discovers that the pumpkins appear to have produced a bunch of what look like eggs, insinuating that the compound has mutated these pumpkins even more than you would initially think. Freeing Bill, Tilly has to admit that she used the compound, which disappoints Bill. But let's not let him get too high on his horse here. If you remember, last year was his fault. Unfortunately, at that exact moment, a big pumpkin which was growing in the garage wakes up. So yeah, they're basically gourd xenomorphs now. Fleeing outside, the eggs also hatch, surrounding Tilly and Bill. Left with no choice, Tilly suggests the one thing Bill is best at: farming. Cricket also joins the fight after Vasquez threw him out the house.
That man has got an arm.
Though he did forget that he only has joke weapons again. The task only gets more complicated after the giant pumpkin stalk that had been growing in the house bursts through the roof and starts outputting a signal turning every pumpkin in the city into a monster. The good news is Tilly figures out that if they destroy the big pumpkin, everything else will go with it, asking her brother to prank for good to distract it while she preps the lawnmower.
My mouth was very much open.
And just as she figured, all the pumpkins start dying and everybody is fine, though a little woozy. Following that, Tilly apologizes to Bill, who does accept. Then Gwendolyn arrives, about 2 minutes too late to be an effective solution to any kind of problem.
You want this?
No!
Oh, okay.
And fun fact, she does not apologize. She just says it was her bee. Then she leaves to go back to Mars.
Why do we keep delivering groceries to her?
She has money.
Oh, yeah.
Happy